This is Jess, Wes and our daughter Izzy. After selling our house and most of our possessions at the end of 2021, we've packed up our van Bevan to tour Australia. We are Life is VANderful.
We're playing our games. Alright, let's test our concentration, doesn't it?
You're saying random words while we're trying to play bubble.
I can't even say the word concentration now. Oh wow, Pinky Ponk.
Mommy.
Aww.
And what words can we make from this? So we have arrived in Norseman, which is generally regarded as the start of the Nullarbor if you're doing it from the west first, moving to the east, or the end, I guess, if you're starting from the east and moving across to the west. So we just drove 2 hours from Esperance this morning, where we filled up on food, water, and fuel, and checked Bevan over, checked the tyres for air, filled Bevan up with diesel, checked the water and oil levels, and some little things for Izzy to do on the road as well to keep her happy. So many bubbles. Yeah, this is one of the longer sort of drives where there's not too much in the middle going across Nullarbor. So we hope to be pleasantly surprised and see a few things, but we're also fully prepared for long driving days across that part of Australia. Looking forward to seeing the Great Australian Bight, and also looking forward in a weird way to the 90-mile straight, so the longest bit of straight road in Australia, at 90 miles in length. So yeah, we should do that, should cross that tomorrow, I think, so that's something to look forward to. And the weather's just starting to turn, so we had magic couple of days in Esperance and just magic weather, and now it's just starting to turn and get overcast, and there's rain predicted for the next couple of days, so probably a good time to be on the road and yeah, drive through that. So just got to keep ourselves amused and Izzy amused on this long road, and yeah, then we'll be going to the Eyre Peninsula, which we missed out on from South Australia because we went north up through the middle of South Australia to Cocklebiddy and onwards to Alice Springs and Darwin. So when you do that, you miss the Eyre Peninsula and a big chunk there, so that's where we're headed next for the next part of our adventure. It's like Bevan's moving with Izzy driving. I hope they stop for me. So this is where we stayed last night in Norseman, a free camp. You can stay here for up to 72 hours. There's no facilities here, but it's basically just a grass patch and some rubbish bins. But yeah, there's no toilets. You've got to be self-contained to be here. But just saves you from getting fined for parking on the street illegally. Day 100 of Izzy driving lessons. Still can't reach the pedals.
We are in Norseman at a playground, and we are about to start our drive across the Nullarbor, which is 1,200 kilometres. And Nullarbor, if you didn't know, means treeless plains.
In Latin.
In Latin.
So lunch on day one of our travels, and pulled up at a place called Belladonia. We are in Belladonia, a roadhouse that's 2 hours out of Norseman. So we've been travelling for 2 hours, stopping here for lunch. Place to refuel if you need it, or grab some food. It's also got a tiny little bit of fame as the place where Skylab space station broke up over this remote place in the middle of nowhere in July 1979. So Skylab was an old space station from NASA, and it started to decay and fall apart because it was no longer serviced, and then it crashed down to Earth back in 1979, and this was sort of the epicenter of the landing. So for a short time in 1979, this point was quite famous. So yeah, Belladonia. They've even got a little museum here about the place with some replica pieces. But yeah, it's pretty naff, pretty old school. and yeah, pretty remote location. So we're going to keep going this afternoon. Just thought we'd break up the trip, and we'll keep going to a place I think called Cocklebiddy is our next stop for tonight. Bubble time.
Bubble bath, call my name. Every morning up with the sun. Bubble bath, you know I love to blow some big ones. And mama thinks it's fun. Ooh.
So Jess and I are sharing the driving duties, and Jess didn't know this was coming up, so I made sure I did the morning travel so Jess could do the afternoon travel, and she gets to do the 145 kilometres worth of straight line driving. Sorry, 146.6 kilometres of straight line driving. Wouldn't want to shortchange here, 1.6 kilometres. So you're pumped to be driving 146.6 kilometres in a straight line this afternoon, Jess?
Oh, I think it's going to be the most riveting driving ever. I'm so excited to see nothing and nothing and nothing and nothing and nothing, nothing, nothing.
Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive, and we'll never turn our backs again.
So pulled up at a free camp at a place called Cocklebiddy. We just filled up the tank, fuel, and we're at a free camp now, and there's 2 other campers here, which is always a good sign. So we just found this on Wiki Camps. You can stay at the roadhouse itself, but you pay for that, and it's powered. Here we're a kilometre, 500 metres down the road, same sort of thing, but just without the power. So we're self-sufficient, so we're all good. We're going to do some barbecuing outside, but it's raining and there's wasps around, so we'll be cooking inside tonight. But first, coffee. Well, this has been a good camp if you like spare tyres, lots of bees and general rubbish. But next stop, the border.
So we've made it halfway across the Nullarbor, and that's thanks to our little bag of tricks here. We've got like a magic bubble wand, some magnets, we've got our little food stash. Yeah, so we had to find lots of creative ways to keep Izzy entertained. Halfway there, so let's see how we go the rest of the way. What's that? That's not English. Speak English.
English.
Hi, my name is Isabel.
No, my name is Iggy.
Sorry, Iggy. How old are you, Iggy?
2.
2. What's your favourite colour?
Purple.
Oh. What's your favourite song?
ABC. Bye bye.
Wave to yourself. Bye. Blow kisses to yourself. This is a wedding chapel on the Nullarbor. What an interesting place to get married.
Meow.
Wow, is there anyone getting married in there today? I thought maybe this was the confessional, but
Meow.
it's just a toilet. Wow, do you want to get married here one day, Iggy?
No, I'm inside.
We're inside. Actually, there's a guest book here, and it's really quite lovely. People have come here to sit and remember loved ones that have passed and just have some quiet time on their travels. So it's really cool to come across a travelling chapel. Don't know if it's really wedding material though, but apparently you can have weddings here. Did you find, Iggy? A seat. Don't pull it over. But you also found in this Fanta bottle some holy water.
So this green thing that I am sitting on is a tee on Australia's longest golf course, 1,200 kilometres across the Nullarbor. It starts at Norseman, where we began our journey, and finishes in Ceduna. So Wes and Izzy have just gone to check out the course, and I'll go show you the flag. Iggy's found a couple of golf clubs, and Wes has just gone looking for a golf ball in the bushes. He's hoping someone's lost. We've had absolutely no luck finding a stray golf ball. Maybe everyone gets hole-in-ones.
And to give you a visual representation, this is where we are now on the border, and we'll probably get to the roadhouse tonight, a Nullarbor Roadhouse. So that's the actual Nullarbor. The whole thing's generally called the Nullarbor, but that's Nullarbor Roadhouse. And then the Eyre Peninsula is where we're ending up at the end of this trip. So Ceduna is sort of the end of the crossing from South Australia to Western Australia and vice versa. And then that's where we'll start the next leg of our trip, is the Eyre Peninsula. Go down all the way down to Port Lincoln and join back up at Port Augusta. So that's what's coming up after we finish crossing the Nullarbor Plains. So we're at the very windy but very picturesque Great Australian Bight. As we're crossing Nullarbor here, we've been to the Bunda Cliffs, and there's 3 major lookouts on the way after you cross the border from West Australia into South Australia. Sort of 3 major stopping points close to the cliffs here. You can see them in all their and yeah, it's pretty spectacular. If you look behind my shoulder there, get the drone up at these 3 sites and show you the spectacular views on the bottom edge of Australia at the Great Australian Bight. This is the Great Australian Bight.
Take off. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
So this is where we're camping tonight, right on the very edge of Australia at the Great Australian Bight. And I mean on the edge, and it's an amazing view. Beautiful sunset here. Definitely not letting Iggy out of the car. Very, very steep cliffs down to the ocean below. Very windy.
So we're at the Nullarbor Roadhouse. This is the old historic Nullarbor Roadhouse. The new one's over there. We camped last night at the Great Australian Bight, or the Bunda Cliffs, and that was amazing. The weather started to turn today. We're heading east to Ceduna, and we just stopped off here for fuel, which is probably the most expensive fuel that we've bought on this trip so far. Almost pushing $3 at the moment, which is crazy. But yeah, we're at Nullarbor, and when we're crossing the Nullarbor Plains, everyone refers to Nullarbor generally as the whole 1,200 kilometre trip, but this is the actual township. Well, there's no town, it's just a roadhouse of Nullarbor itself, so this is really where the treeless plain sort of starts. And yeah, next stop, Ceduna and civilization. So we have made it across Nullarbor. We're here in Ceduna, which is sort of semi-officially recognised as the start or end point of the Nullarbor travels, and it's certainly more civilization. Supermarkets, petrol stations that aren't roadhouses, phone reception, 4G, all that kind of thing. We are back in the land of living. And we are currently at a supermarket. So Ceduna is a great place to have a supermarket, by the way, because they confiscate your food when you come across the border. So like we had when we went from Northern Territory to Western Australia, there's quarantine laws for fruit and vegetables coming from Western Australia to South Australia. So a weird little quirk is that it's not actually on the border between Western Australia and South Australia, because it's so remote. They sort of classify here in Ceduna, Highway 1, the main road in and out of here, as the border when it comes to fruit and vegetables. So we didn't have too much, but we had to surrender some fruit veggies. So we're stocking up here with those items, and yeah, it'd be a perfect place to own a fruit or veg shop, because everyone's here buying fruit and veggies this morning. So that was our travel across Nullarbor. I hope you enjoyed it, gave you a bit of an insight as to what happens. Thanks for watching.